Good morning. Welcome to your Soulful Sunday. Today should be good. Today should be interesting because we have a lot to learn and imbibe. So without further ado, let's start our Power of Dreams programming and manifest our dreams. So there we go. So let's bring on the music. Rahul, sir, we can't hear the music. How wonderful. How wonderful. Amazing. It's great that we power our dreams every single morning. It's very, very important to see them, visualize them, intend them, and enjoy the feeling of having them come true. So beautiful. All right. So let's start with the magical body and see today what is Luke's treasure box going to open up for us. Yesterday we learned about sugar, and today let's see what we're going to learn about. Okay. And this is something which is very amazing. And we are going to be sending you a little manual kind of flyers so that it can help you understand a bit more. It's extremely imperative. And I don't know when you want to plan this. So as a subgroup, if you want to plan it, please plan one day, which is common to all of you so that you have the same experiences. Maybe Tanuj can also lead this for all of us. It can be done on the full group level because the group is very small this time. So it's tangible. It's very much possible. Just see how it works for all of us, because first you understand the science and then we can go forward for it and understand how to go about it. Okay, so what is cleansing of a liver? We don't really have to. So a lot of you may be knowing about colon therapy and about liver detoxes, going to hospitals and getting it cleaned. But this is something which is very much happening within our home front. It's very amazing. It's very tangible. So our liver, which is there below the right breast or chest side of yours, it has 500 different functions. These include the conversion of T3 to T4. What is T3, T4? It's a thyroid gland. So T3 to T4, cleansing, processing food, removing toxins from the air we breathe. So we are breathing in air, and this air that we are breathing in is half the times toxic because environment is toxic. There's nothing called fresh air. So all of a sudden, if you leave the main metropolitan cities and go to countrysides or hillsides, you feel the quality of air that you're breathing in is fresh. So, you feel very refreshed after inhaling. Whereas here, you may just have some sense of, not very comfortable. So apart from converting amino acids into proteins, the liver also produces bile. This bile is very important for digesting fat. Now, the gallbladder stores the bile, and every time you eat a meal that has fat, bile is used to break down that fat and facilitate the absorption of omega-3, omega-6, and fat-soluble vitamins, which is A, D, E, and K. These are very important for our immunity, which helps us fight any kind of viruses, even corona or whatever. It helps us in our weight loss. It helps us in overall health. So mere cleansing of our liver can do wonders for our health. And today, all of us are exposed to many environmental toxins in our air in our food because of processing. So if we are deleting processed food from our lives, half the journey is taken care of. Air, we can't do much about it because this is the air that we have. So a lot of times people had, those oxygen cleansers, purifiers, this, that, but it can't do too much. But they're still causing problems in liver. So if you're tired all the time, अगर fatigued है, हर समय freshness नहीं है, कैसे भी अगर आप सो रहे हैं, कैसे भी खा रहे हैं, कितना भी exercise कर रहे हैं, it's very much possible, and 99% it's possible that you have a sluggish liver. It doesn't matter whether you're thin, whether you're fat. Sluggish liver can be for anybody. So if it's producing enough bile, your ducts might be getting blocked by gallstones, which are nothing but calcified deposits of cholesterol and bile salts. This means you don't digest fat correctly, become vitamin deficient, which lowers immunity, and most likely you have high cholesterol. Gallstones could be the waste material your liver produces, cleansing out on the toxins from bad food and polluted air. When this happens, the bile finds a new pathway and uses the pancreas. Now, bile irritates the pancreas, causing inflammation and hampering insulin production. This is why you should flush out your liver by doing a cleanse. Initially, we could do it every 2 to 3 weeks, and then after that, once in 6 months. Keeping your liver in good shape is essential to enjoying a drink from time to time. So, ये अगर आप लोग ठीक समझे, so we have 3 months almost going on, which we have in the 1-to-1 days. So let's schedule every 2 weeks if possible. अभी तो दिवाली का time है, so maybe you can start. Maybe you can do it once now, once, twice before after Diwali, and once more. तो 3 बार कर लीजिए 2 या 3 हफ्ते gap में. First gap maybe 2 weeks, second gap maybe 3 weeks, and then thereafter once a month, once in 6 months, you remember and you do it. Of course, we all will be in touch. So keeping your liver in good shape is very essential to enjoying a drink from time to time. To do this cleanse, you have to keep yourself free from 6 p.m. till 11 a.m. the next day. That's why I recommend you do it on Friday or a Saturday evening. So whenever you're not going to work, जब आप घर पे रह सकते हैं तब आपको ये प्लान करना है. आपको 3 चीजें चाहिए इसके लिए. एप्सम सोल्ट जो किसी भी केमिस्ट शॉप पे अवेलेबल है. उसका नाम मैग्नीशियम सल्फेट भी है. Epsom salt is something which you are anyways using for taking a detox bath when you're doing the full moon ritual. अगर आप लोग कर रहे हैं properly, तो Epsom salt से शायद नहाकर आते भी हों, because उससे सब गंदगी बॉडी की भी बाहर से भी निकल जाती है और अंदर से भी निकल जाती है. So Epsom salt is very much scientific, very medical, no harm done. Epsom salt के कई पैकेजिंग आती है. I prefer taking the small packaging जिसमें 20 ग्राम sachet already chemist से बना बनाया मिलता है. तो मेरे पास बड़ा वाला sachet भी मेरा, I have a big packing also. आपको I know sound yuck करेगा, but you need 250 grams of extra virgin olive oil. It could be any kind of olive oil or extra virgin. So there are lots of types of further olive oil, that doesn't matter. No, it's not सिंधा नमक, नेहा, not at all. It's not any नमक that you can use खाने में. It's very खारा, कड़वा होता है ये Epsom salt. So ये आपको घर पे available नहीं होगा, सिर्फ medical shop पे ही available होगा. So, and you have to buy this oil, and you have to pick up some fresh orange juice. So अब तो oranges इतने अच्छे आ रहे हैं. Just buy the orange, fresh orange juice की बात याद रहेगी. Now, क्या करना है? हम फ्राइडे को जब सुबह उठते हैं या जिस भी दिन हम सुबह उठ रहे हैं, नॉर्मल खाना है टिल लंच. आफ्टर लंच कुछ भी नहीं खाना until 6 p.m. 6 बजे हमको 20 grams of magnesium sulfate, and 20 grams भी वेवर करेगा, मैं आगे आपको एक चार्ट भी बता देंगे. 20 grams of magnesium sulfate 200 ml of water में आपका पहला डोज होगा. इसके लिए बेस्ट होता है कि हम पहले से बना के रख लें. We understand the science right now. 10 बजे हमें सेकेंड डोज लेनी है. इसमें 175 ml एक्स्ट्रा वर्जिन ऑलिव ऑयल लेना है. अगर हमारा वजन 70 किलो से ऊपर है तो हमें थोड़ा और चाहिए होगा. वो चार्ट भी आपके सामने आगे आने वाला है. सो व्हाट्स योर वेट, यू हैव टू प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली. इफ योर वेट इज 55 to 70 kilos, so 175 ml is enough. But अगर आप 50 किलो से कम है आपका बॉडी वेट, so lesser oil is also good. Next page we will anyways have the right measurements, and we have already also made this also. Now you can mix this oil with fresh orange or pineapple juice or even lemon water. Fresh is important. Sure, अगर आपके पास oranges का सुविधा नहीं है लाइम वाटर में बना लीजिए. I know it doesn't sound appeasing, even that's what even Luke is saying, but it's been done, tried, and it's not difficult at all. Now, इस concoction के बाद आपको क्या करना है? What do you have to, let's understand. Let's run the page, sir. So 10 बजे आपको फिर जब आपने ले लिया सेकेंड डोज, आपको अपने राइट साइड पे लेटना है. योर राइट साइड विल बी दबा हुआ बेड पे, क्योंकि उसी साइड पे आपका लिवर है. मैंने आपको बताया आपके राइट चेस्ट के नीचे है. सो आपका जो हेड है वो तकियों के ऊपर होना चाहिए. आपकी थोड़ी सी बॉडी ऐसे इंक्लाइंड होगी. एंड आपको वैसे हाफ एन आवर रहना है. अगर गॉल स्टोन्स आपके हैं तो आपको फ्लो करते हुए, यू इवन फाइंड द मूवमेंट, बट दर्द नहीं होगा, दैट्स फॉर श्योर. एंड गॉल स्टोन मूव करें मतलब ऑलरेडी हीलिंग हो रही है ना. जब आप एप्सम सॉल्ट लेते हैं आपको एक बावल मूवमेंट भी आएगा, तो लूज मोशन टाइप का भी लगेगा. दैट्स एब्सोल्युटली ग्रेट एंड इट्स नॉर्मल. इसका मतलब आपकी बॉडी रेडी है टू फ्लश आउट टॉक्सिन्स. नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या होने वाला है? यू ड्रिंक योर थर्ड डोज ऑफ एप्सम सॉल्ट वाटर द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग, सुबह 6 बजे. तो हमारा सेशन खत्म होता है 6:30 बजे, तब आप लीजिएगा, नॉट 6 बजे, बिकॉज इट्स नाइसर कि सेशन के बाद लें. 2 घंटे के बाद 8:30 बजे फिर आप सेकेंड डोज ले लीजिए ऑयल एंड जूस मिक्सचर की. एंड इस समय कम ऑयल होगा, 75 ml, एनीवेज उसका चार्ट आप लोग को मिल जाएगा. फिर 2 घंटे और वेट करना है. फाइनल डोज लेनी है एप्सम सॉल्ट की और वाटर की, जैसे आपने शुरू किया था. आप शुरू भी उस एप्सम सॉल्ट वाटर से करते हैं, फिनिश भी उससे करते हैं. टोटल में 6 डोजेस होती हैं. लगता है बहुत ज्यादा है, बट बिल्कुल भी ज्यादा नहीं है. एंड आपको लगेगा कि आपके अंदर जमा हुआ सारा फैट, सारा कचरा ऐसे निकल रहा है. योर बॉडी विल थैंक यू, बिकॉज इतना अच्छा फील होने वाला है. एंड आपका इतना रिफ्रेशिंग फीलिंग होगी, आपको एनर्जी विल बी हाई. इवन दो आपका कचरा निकल रहा होगा थ्रू लूज मोशंस, yet the energy will be very, very, very beautiful, and you'll find that energy is there with you for a good some time if you keep in cleanse. आप अगर ढंग से खा पी रहे हैं उसके बाद कचरा नहीं ले रहे, तो your body will have more energy. Now 1 घंटे के बाद आपका जब सेक्स डोज ले लिया, you have to break your fast. अब intermittent fasting को भी हम break करते हैं with some seeds or some kind of soaked nuts or fruits. ऐसे ही इसको भी हमें break करना है. डाइजेशन फायर धीरे हो जाती है. उसको इग्नाइट करने के लिए सिंपल डाइजेस्टेबल फूड देना होता है, विच इज फ्रूट्स अगेन. ना जब खाना डाइजेस्ट हो जाएगा उसके बाद आप नॉर्मल खाना धीरे धीरे मॉडरेशन ले सकते हैं. डोंट फिल योर स्टमक विद जंक फूड, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. एकदम प्लेन दाल चावल, दाल फलका, प्लेन, और दाल नहीं तो सब्जी फलका, बिकॉज दाल इज अ लिटिल हैवी आल्सो. अब क्या होने वाला है? थ्रू आउट द प्रोसेस यू आर गोइंग टू डायलेट योर बाइल डक्ट्स, and the pressure in your liver and your gallbladder is going to force these gallstones out. On a normal day, it doesn't happen because you're constantly digesting and taking toxins. You may even see some of the gallstones because a lot of them float. Some of them will be red or green and differ in size. You will end up feeling light, energetic, fantastic. You must keep a break of about 2-3 weeks because you also flush out a lot of vitamins and minerals in the process, which need replenishing. After that, you need to keep a gap of 6 months between cleanses. You'll find that heart problems, diabetes, sugar levels, weight problems all tend to get better. Don't do this cleanse on a busy weekend. Try to stay home as you have to go to the washroom a lot. If you're taking any serious medications, check with your doctor first. I have used this with stage 3 and stage 4 cancer patients as well. But always make sure to run it past your doctor because he or she will have your detailed medical history. The liver cleanse isn't recommended for those who have undergone gallbladder removal surgery. So अगर किसी की surgery gallbladder stones remove हुए हैं आपका, तो gallbladder remove हुआ है आपका, so please do not do this. Stones remove हुए you can, but not gallbladder removal. gallbladder ही नहीं तो please मत करेगा. लेकिन please understand you are just cleansing your liver. That's all that you're doing. हाई क्वालिटी एक्स्ट्रा वर्जिन ऑलिव ऑयल यूज करना है. डोंट थिंक चीप सा यूज कर लीजिए, आपको पी के निकालना ही है. नो, हाई क्वालिटी इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आपका स्केड्यूल आपके सामने है. ऑफ कोर्स वी विल सेंड द स्केड्यूल टू यू आल्सो. बट मैं क्या करती हूँ इसमें, मैं 80 ग्राम का सैशे ले लेती हूँ और 800 ग्राम पानी ले लेती हूँ एक साथ इन अ बॉटल. I mix them together and I just shake them up and I keep them in the fridge because वो इतना खारा नमक होता है कि एज इट इज पीना मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो ठंडा होता है तो पीने में बिकम्स इजियर. 1 ग्लास पहले ले लीजिए मिक्सचर का. आपको पता ही है 6 बजे. आपने अगर पहले नहीं लिया हो तो आप थोड़ा सा उस समय भी कर सकते हैं. यू कैन हैव नॉर्मल पानी उसके बाद. सर कैन वी टर्न द पेज? एंड फिर आप 8 बजे रिपीट करेंगे प्रोसीजर को. एक और ग्लास ऑफ एप्सम सॉल्ट मिक्सचर लेंगे. Now 9:45 जो आपका मेडिसिन है, टाइमिंग्स आप अपने हिसाब से, लाइक मैं इसको प्रीपोन करती हूँ क्योंकि मैं इतना लेट उठ ही नहीं पाती. 9:45 is too late for me. 10 o'clock is absolutely unthinkable for me. So my thing finishes at 8 o'clock so that I can be in my bed. Accordingly, I start faster. Now you have to put this entire thing is planned. We will send it to you. Discuss भी हमने कर लिया है और आपको कैसे क्या राइट साइड पे सोना है, क्या करना है, वी डिस्कस्ड. ये सब लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पर. पीडीएफ आपके पास है ही. एक थ्योरी और आपके पास आ जाएगी. सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी प्रीटी इजी. एंड 11 o'clock आपका नेक्स्ट डे कोर्स कंक्लूड हो जाएगा, वेयर यू कैन डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट. ये चार्ट भी आपके राइट साइड पे है जिसमें आपका कितना बॉडी वेट है, उसके हिसाब से कितना आपको पर डोज कितना लेना है. सो लीस्ट जो हम लोग को चाहिए होगा will be 50 grams of Epsom salt for people less than 55 kilos of weight. For people who are between 55 to 70, आपको 60 grams of Epsom salt चाहिए होगा. People who are above 70 kilos of weight, you will need 80 grams of Epsom salt. That's all that we need. And आपका doses लिखी हुई है, आपका quantity लिखी हुई है olive oil की and Epsom salt की, so should not be a problem at all. Let's turn the page. Yeah, okay, so amazing. So we will send this flyer with you. It's okay, sir. We are not doing this today. So that's all that we've learned today. Believe me, it's amazing. You don't really have to go to doctors unless not you have a major physical thing. It's good for everyone, and it's really, really imperative we do it together if you can. If you can fix up a day together, nothing like it. If not, we can do it individually, just thinking about when you should be doing it. But that night should not be a card party night or the share, you're like any Diwali pre, because you can't step out. You will need to go to the loo. So please be home. Do not step out because you need that cleansing time in your own house. And you need good sound sleep also for this. All right. So yesterday we asked ourselves a couple of questions and how we are reacting, how we are asking other people and what we are we in this mode of accepting what we have? Are we in this mode of learning from where we are? Are we determined? Are we persistent? Are we diligent? Or how are we handling other people's fallouts, their breakdowns, their strikeouts? Are we handling them well? Are we giving them recovery time? Are we listening to them? Are we comforting them, encouraging them? Are we showing patience, or have we become Gyan Matas, Gyan Pitas, and we're simply just giving them bhashan? Now that is something nobody in the world wants. Even a small child does not want that. You share your experience with them is fine. You treat them like adults is fine. But you start giving them lectures, nobody wants, especially after they've not had good scores or not good, something competitions that they're doing. Please be very sensitive. This applies to every single age that you're going to be handling. Now, let's learn another lesson with examples so hum bahut clear ho jaye ki what are we talking about. A lesson from the strikeout king and his teammate. Now, in addition to his home run and slugging records, Babe Ruth also set the record for the most strikeouts in a major league career. Imagine if every time he struck out, he threw his bat down and came storming back to the dugout, sweating, swearing, and yelling. I hate striking out. I hate this game. The lousy pitcher. He tricked me, and that last strike he called was a mile away from the plate. Now imagine that with each strikeout, the fans all booed him. And when he made it in the dugout, his coach threw his clipboard down and yelled, "What the hell are you doing?" Babe, how many times have I told you, don't swing at that high balls? Yeah, babe, what were you thinking about it? You left 3 men on base. Thanks to you, we're going to lose this game. So first, he knows he hasn't done well. Secondly, this kind of thing is being told to him. How will he react? Now, I can assure you that very little of that kind of activity or dialogue took place. If that had been the way, the Babe, his fans, his coaches, his teammates had reacted to his strikeouts like that, there would be no Yankee Stadium today. And chances are Major League Baseball would have died back in 1919 Black Sox scandal. But unfortunately, or let's say fortunately, his fans, his coaches, his teammates all had learned the right way to respond. Get the word respond and not react. Thoughtful response. They knew that his strikeouts were not only okay, but they were necessary part of his strategy for hitting home runs. He had to swing with all his might. And when you make that choice, you are going to miss the ball more often than you're going to hit it. Everyone knew that, and they were willing to correctly respond to his strikeouts because they knew that a home run was just around the corner. Now, if you take responsibility to begin to correctly handle your strikeouts and the strikeouts of those around you, you will begin to see more home runs that you will ever imagine possible. Do you understand the science behind this? He said, if you can take responsibility to begin to correctly handle your strikeouts and others, which means you're hopeful and you're grateful, and you will see much more of those coming. And you will be encouraging people rather than getting discouraged, because right now despair is not in the dictionary. Hope is in a dictionary. And this will enhance your ability to persist. I had never written or directed a single commercial when we started American Telecast in 76. I wrote and produced my first commercial that summer. Now, from that point on, I'm writing, producing, and directing more than 100 2-minute commercials per year. In the beginning, success rate was 2.5%. That meant I was striking out at 25%. That means I was striking out 75% of the time. And yet my partners were incredibly patient. They never lectured me after a failure. We'd all talk it out over the sting had worn out, and we would try to figure out why it didn't work. The result was that my average eventually rose to an 82% success rate in an industry where the average success rate was under 1/2 of 1%. Had my partners and I not learned how to handle my failures, I probably would have quit the business in our first or second year. Now, when you fail, if the people around you all begin to criticize and second guess you, don't get defensive and don't look for others to blame. Just ask them to put all the thoughts, analysis, and suggestions into writing to you so that you can thoughtfully analyze what happened after the dust has settled. And you can see see things a little more clearly. So most important thing is, जब भी हम life में fail हो जाए, rather than criticizing yourself and being criticized and being thinking, we overthink too much. We try to defend our acts too much. No, please, that's the time to take feedback from people. What am I thinking? Where am I going? Please write to me. Please let me know, because I need to become a better version of myself. And this is after the cool down. You can't immediately have failed and start asking people for analysis. You need some time for self-reflection. Now, when you are calmer or the other person is calmer, that's when the exercise should be done. When those around you fail, remember they're hurting. They're already going over everything in their own minds. And the last thing they need from you is criticism of any kind. Give them all the space. Now, that time, the human error is that we try to go to the person and just be there that moment. No, that is a time for some space. That's a time for you to go a little later and start just being there and being in the listening mode, not a word to be spoken out of you. And just encourage that, I am here. That's all. The person needs to hear, I am here. And then the magic happens. What magic happens? That time the pain has gone a little lower. Could be hours, could be days, could be at times even a week. What you have to do is just be patient. Now you approach them in the spirit of a learner rather than the spirit of a know-it-all. Remember, the person has failed, but we are being coached to go as a learner, not as, oh, I'm a Gampitha. No. Ask them for their thoughts on why they struck out. Ask questions and brainstorm together. You'll both learn a great deal in your relationship, and the resulting persistence will be greatly strengthened. Now, when you are also partnering with the person in his failure, you are more open and receptive to, okay, what could have gone wrong? Can we analyze? Are we ready for this? Then he or she is also less defensive and is like, okay, let's do it. Because a person also wants to voice out his or her thoughts, what they have gone in their mind because of the failure. So very important to be a listener, to be in the analysis mode, to be there with somebody having his or her back and not be a reprimanding king or queen. No, we can't do that. So, and let's understand that we are all now operating from a world of love and hope. So everything is possible in our world. Now, number 5 step is pretty important. We have to be always ready that, okay, it can't be a win-win situation. Kuch obstacles आएंगे, kuch roadblocks आएंगी, and we must respond to them with creative alternatives. Get this very clear. Again, no reaction, response, but with already defined creative alternatives. For 21 years, American Telecast has been selling its various products directly to consumers through television commercials and infomercials that provide an 800 number of ordering. This industry is referred to as direct response TV. There are only 5 or 6 companies that have survived in our industry as long as we have. And every time there are scores of newcomers, and most of them fail within the first year. This is a business that is very specialized and has some treacherous pitfalls that are nearly invisible to the untrained eye. When a company falls into one of them, they don't lose thousands of dollars, they lose millions. As a result, what they thought was going to be a get rich quick campaign ends up bankrupting them almost overnight. They're not able to persist through failure because they never expected to run into massive obstacles and roadblocks that they encountered. And when you don't expect obstacles and roadblocks, you aren't prepared for them. That's why they say, prepare for the worst and expect the best, or expect the best and prepare for the worst. Both work very beautifully because you're preparing yourself knowing that you may have obstacles. So you are prepared for any obstacles. Now they are in the journey while the journey is happening or as a result. Now, on the other hand, the handful of veterans in the industry are keenly aware of the pitfalls, as we have fallen victim to them at one time or another. We not only prepare in advance for the obstacles and roadblocks, we have become skilled at developing creative alternatives on the spot as they arise. My partners and I have created hundreds of projects in our 21 years together, and I can't imagine beginning any worthwhile project, personal, professional, without encountering obstacles and roadblocks. Yet I hear people complain and make excuses every day about the failures they've experienced because of something happening that they didn't expect. Now, if you expect the unexpected to happen, instead of being surprised, you'll be prepared. One of the hundreds of projects I've completed, I've never completed one that wasn't fulfilled with unforeseen problems. I've had celebrities furious at me, ready to cancel a shoot hours before we were to begin. I've had shoots in progress when critical equipment failed. I've even had my appendix ruptured 2 days before a shoot that supposed could not be postponed. And yet the key to persisting over the obstacles and around the roadblocks has been our company's ability to develop from what I call creative alternatives. Now let's all first gear up कि हमने ये अपने dreams बनाए हैं. क्या roadblocks आएंगे? We must write them down. We must prepare ourselves. Now, what are creative alternatives? Let's understand. For a moment, let's go back to the working definition of persistence. Stephen Scott says, true persistence is hitting the brick wall, getting up, dusting yourself off, and realizing that you're not going to get through it. So you have to figure out a way to get over it, under it, around it, or to blow it up. Now, the higher the wall, the greater the inclination to walk away from it. But the higher it is, the more creative you have to be in devising an alternative. If you're unable to devise a creative alternative that works, you need to seek out partners or advisors who can come up with one that does work. I launched a Richard Simon's Deal a Meal campaign in '86 with a series of 2-minute commercials and a print campaign. We ran the campaign for 6 months and generated 10 million in sales. After that, the commercials no longer generated response that was adequate to continue the campaign. We shot new commercials, but they too failed to produce adequate results. We were about to throw in the towel when one of our partners had a brilliant idea of a totally different approach. This creative alternative allowed us to run deal a meal for another 5 years. And guess what? They generated additional 160 million in sales. Sometimes plan A works, but at times the plan A stops working. And you're like, oh, what went wrong? Well, the perfect tha. What went wrong is now you need to create something more. You need to understand that, okay, it's time for plan B. And we must maintain a marathon pace. And that is something which is very, very detrimental to our success. If you and me are maintaining that pace, we are the winners of it all. So, step 6, maintain a marathon pace. One of the greatest enemies of persistence is impatience, the desire to chase your dreams at a sprinter's pace. Unfortunately, worthwhile dreams are never only 100 yards away. Instead, usually miles away. Yet, most people gain a vision on a dream and they run as fast, as hard as they can to catch it. The only problem is they poop out shortly after they begin. Think back to the last time you saw a 100-meter dash, whether it was Olympics or your child's track meet. How did the runners look and act after they crossed the finish line? I'm sure they all gasped for air. Some of them leaned on their knees, others sat down or lay down, and some just walked around, head down and panting. No matter what shape they were in, they were all out of breath and temporarily exhausted. Now, can we imagine what would happen if the moment they crossed the finish line, the official told them the race is over, there are 105 laps around the track to go? Chances are on one of them would start running. And if they did, they would certainly not run very fast. In, in fact, if they did anything other than walk, they most likely wouldn't make it to the finish line. That's because the only thing a marathon and a 100-meter dash have in common is that they're both races. They require completely different training methods and strategies, as well as different running styles. Now, as foolish as it may be, it would be for even the fastest sprinter in the world to completely seriously in a marathon. It's even more foolish for you to expect to catch your dreams at a sprinter's pace. पहली बात तो ड्रीम रखना is important. You have no way out. But उस ड्रीम को अलाइन करना, सेंटर करना अपने आप को, tangible banana is in our hands. To foolishly start taking off with full passion, enthusiasm, and somewhere down the line you're burnt out will mean you have to come back, retract from your steps. But इस book का नाम क्या है? Simple Steps to Impossible Dreams. Now, dreams को impossible रखना, definitely shoot out for the moon, 100%. But tangibility, plan करना, goals में, tasks में, वो आपके हाथ में. Partnership, mentorship, आपके हाथ में. Now, Edison and his staff worked for nearly 3 years on his electric light project. They worked long days, often 16 to 20 hours. They solved problems inventors had been struggling with them for 50 years. What do you think would have happened if Edison had entered his lab every morning with the energy and attitude of a sprinter? Imagine him calling his staff together and saying, okay, everyone, let's do this. I want you to work faster today and you'd never, that have you ever worked. I don't want to see anyone walking or even jogging anywhere. It's run, run, run. The name of the game around here is speed, speed, speed. Ready, get set, hop up to it and go. At this kind of pace, everyone would have burnt out in less than a day. But Edison, the master of persistence, knew that gradual, steady progress would not only get the job done, but get it done in record time. For his dream wasn't 100 yards away, it was 100 miles away. He and his staff even took naps in the lab. They needed endurance and persistence to finish their long distance race. Zig Ziglar tells a story that how he wanted to lose 30 pounds in 9 months. It sounds like an enormous task in what we had never successfully lost weight in his life. Then he realized that to lose that much weight within that time frame would mean he would only have to lose 1 3/4 ounces a day. That only made, so 2.2 ounces make a kilo, right? Ounces or pounds, whatever you want to say. Now, his target is just such a minor part. That not only made his goal doable, it made it easy. He lost his weight and never put it back on. Richard Simons told me that crash diets never work. When people quickly lose 10 or 20 pounds, they gain it all back almost as fast. But if you take it off gradually by adopting doable long term eating exercise habits, they'll take it off and keep it off. Now, those exercises, those habits are already a part of your trackability by Tanuj. So, simple steps. If you can't walk 5,000 steps at one go, if you're very, very basic, start with 3,000 goals, footsteps, 5,000, then go on to 7, then go on to 10, increase them, and then maintain them as much as possible. Remember, one step a day is still going to be equal to 365 days in a year, rather than 0 steps or 10 steps you take and then you sit down, then text 10 steps you take. So consistency, persistence is very important. Discipline is very important for any goal to become true. And for that goal to continue being that much, you have to have some inspiration. Initially, inspiration hoti hai, fir melt and oil. So some partnership is very important. So those of you who are looking at losing weight, genuinely partner with each other. 2, 3, 4 people come together and just do it. Be there for each other. So even your sub sanghas, if you have, say somebody wants to lose 30 kilos, somebody 20, somebody 10, somebody 2, be there for each other and buck them up. Remember, the more he or she shares his weight loss journey, and the more you're complimenting him, you're attracting that to your life. It's not like, "Arey, tera itna kam kaise kam ho gaya? Mera nahi hua." So we have to mix our learnings from our magic book, from our impossible dreams, from Luke Cottino's science, integrate them together and then do it together. Now remember, my resume, I lost 9 jobs in 6 years. My favorite example of a man who mastered persistence and went through life at a marathoner's pace is a man whose resume says it all. At 21, he saw his first business fail. 23, he ran a state political officer and lost. 24, he saw his second business fail. 27, he had a nervous breakdown. 29, he ran for Congress and lost. 31, he ran for Congress again and lost again. At 37, he ran for Congress and won at last. At 46, he ran for vice president and lost. At 49, he ran for a Senate and lost. Now, looking at this man's resume, wouldn't you think he should just have given up dream of a high political office? And yet he didn't burn out. His resume not only showed persistence, it shows a great deal of patience. In the end, it paid off for him and for a lot more for us. In fact, we live in the United States of America because at the age of 51, Abraham Lincoln became the 60th president, the one who would have to overcome the greatest obstacle ever faced by an American president, the splitting of our nation. So, in following through in our dream conversion process, pursue your dreams at a marathoner's pace. No matter how much you are tempted to sprint, don't try to complete too many tasks in a day or too many steps in a week. Take your time to correctly complete each task and step, and complete them at a pace that doesn't risk an easy burnout. अगर आपने goal रख लिया 10 kilos of weight loss in 1 month, you will get burnt out. 2, 4, 5 दिन करोगे, you lose 2, 3, 4 kilos probably. The first 15 days you lose weight, in the next 15 days you're like, अभी नहीं खाया, अब खाते हैं. जो लोग गलती करते हैं ना, सब कुछ finish कर देते हैं, ये नहीं खाना. Eat moderately. Because if you finish off completely, you will be wanting to eat much more. Similarly for other dreams. Very important to do it diligently, persistently, but consciously, aware, with awareness, with consciousness. Keeping the right pace in the dream conversion process not only impacts your acquiring of persistence, it is a final determining factor of whether or not you will actually achieve your dreams in time to enjoy them. This final rocket engine, my dear friends, in the art of dream conversion, is the engine that will truly determine the pace of the dream conversion process in our lives. It is like the accelerator of your car. If it becomes your primary tool for determining how efficiently you'll achieve each of your dreams, you can drive most of the trip at a cruising speed that will get you to your destination safely and on time. But you'll also be able to slow down when you approach the hazards and detours, and you'll be able to speed up when you need to pass other cars. I call this engine laser accurate priority planning. It will enable you to keep it on schedule for the highest priority dreams in your life. So, of course, this laser priority planning is going to come day after. Tomorrow, we'll summarize this chapter, We'll talk to each other. We'll ask each other, have we worked on our dreams, our goals? Have we analyzed them? Have we acquired the discipline for this? Are we persistent? Tomorrow will be about analysis, and day after, or maybe tomorrow we can start reading the chapter and then see where we're going on. And with this chapter, we would have taken up pretty much a lot of our learning in, and we'll have to intertwine them also. So thank you, Rahul sir, for showcasing this book. Tomorrow is about a recap. It's about an important day when all of us are thinking, analyzing, and working on it. So I know that a lot of you, or I hope, or I feel, I'm not sure, I shouldn't use the word hope, आप सब में से बहुत लोगों ने शायद अभी तक सिर्फ सुना होगा, break down नहीं किया होगा. Can you be genuinely and tell me in your hands up or chat box that आपने सिर्फ इसको सुना है, implement नहीं किया है? Because जब आपने join किया था session, all of you had written down 3 dreams. Some of you had 2, some of you had 1, but 3 dreams आप सबने लिखे थे. Genuinely, have we broken down or understood, analyzed, and very nice, Richa, you've done it. So I'm not here to say very nice to people who've done it or very bad for people who haven't done it. I'm no one. All I'm saying is, have we been accountable and done it? You have cut 16s yet. Very nice. You did it, Shalu. Great. 2 of your dreams mein aapne work kiya hai. I'm okay with us at least starting with 1. We had 3 dreams. Parallel analysis kar sakte hain. We can see, can we work on the 3 dreams simultaneously? Or are we still pondering that what is this book all about? And I will put them all together. So if you've done that 1, I'll also like you to share your success story or your, your plateaus or your, whatever is hindering your growth. There's absolutely no harm talking about it. But the idea is that each one of us becomes empowered and knows that these are tried sciences. 1 dream done. Very nice. So even baby steps are important. It doesn't have to be that we have to get to the end of the book and then start. So these are, while we study, we do these books, we implement them. And believe me, they're magical. I mean, and they're just not books which have just come and randomly come and go. This is one book which is so helpful. I would say it's the mother of all dream conversion books. So I brought it, and it's a very simple, doable, readable book. So we've just been reading, analyzing. Let's understand that we are in this together and we will crack it. So, all right. Let's do our sun salutations and let's invoke the blessings of the life giver, the sun.
The Surya Namaskar with mantras. Om Mitraye Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Khagaye Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaye Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityay Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkay Namaha. Om Bhaskaray Namaha. Salutations to the universal friend. Salutations to the resplendent sun. Salutations to the energy that induces activity within us. Salutations to the one who illumines. Salutations to the sun moving across the sky. Salutations to the giver of strength. Salutations to the golden cosmic self. Salutations to the Lord of the dawn. Salutations to the son of Aditi, the cosmic mother. Salutations to the benevolent mother. Salutations to the energy that we praise and to the one who guides us to salvation. The sun salutation now with the names of the postures both in Sanskrit and English. Pranamasana, Hastuttanasana, Padahastasana, left leg back, Ashvasanchalanasana, Parvatasana, and hold this position And now slowly progressing into the deeper version of Parvatasana, Adho Mukh Svanasana. Ashtang Namaskar. Bhujangasana. Parvatasana. Left forward Ashwa Sanchalanasana. Padahastasana. Hastuttanasana. Pranamasana. On the right side, prayer position. Raised arms pose. Hand to feet pose. Right leg back, equestrian pose. Mountain pose. Hold mountain pose. And slowly moving into the deeper version of mountain, the downward facing dog. Salute with 8 limbs. Cobra. Press back to mountain. Right forward, equestrian pose. Hand to feet pose. Raised arms position. Prayer pose. One round of the sun salutation with awareness on the breathing. So exhaling our hands to the chest, pranam. Inhaling as we bend back. We exhale as we fold forward. Left leg back, inhale as we're arching back. Exhale into the forward. Hold the breath for knees, chest, chin. Inhale as we arch back. Exhale into the forward. Left leg forward, inhale. This is a back bend. Exhale whenever we bend forward. Inhale as we bend back. Exhale, hands to the chest. And on the right, deep breathing. Exhale. A deep inhale. A long exhale. Right leg back with an inhale. And exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Right leg forward with a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
So let's bring on incredibly believable. So today I have a request for all of you, especially who are couples here. Please sit down and please be there for each other. Please divide your dreams, plan the strategy, and it will be nice for each one of you to help each other. Very, very, very important. Now let's understand a couple of things about our life ahead. We all are supposed to live a fear-free life, okay? And one thing is, if we have fears of any kind, we can't move in our life further. So rather than being fearful, we have to be fearless or fear-free. What should I be afraid of? So what is the worst thing that you can do to me? Kill me? So if I'm not afraid of death, then why would I be afraid of anything else? And why should I be afraid of death? Why should anyone be afraid of death? People are afraid of death simply because they do not know what happens at death. In a way, it is fear of the unknown. As soon as you realize that the soul is eternal and only the physical body dies, there isn't any fear of death. So I can relate right now to tell you how it is. So the way you take a bird, she's free in the sky, right? And you take her and you capture her and put her in a prison, in a pinjra, and you keep her at home. Now that is the way your soul feels trapped in a human body. But it's very important for that human body to be doing its actions because soul has come for some spiritual action. But When the soul is free from the body, it's in a way nice and light and liberated. And that's why it decides sometimes to leave the body much earlier, because it wants that liberation, that feeling of, okay, now whatever good I've done, I'm going to exhaust that bit and then again reincarnate. So I know it's very easier said than done, but to fear death is the worst fear we can have. So for this, again, we have been studying the impossible dreams. Please plan your life very well. Please plan your life in a fashion that everything is already guarded. Like I'm just 43, right? I've planned all my finances, I've planned my, I mean, it's silly if I say so, but the will isn't there in place. Just generic will, so that there should be no confusion. Why? Because I have no fear. What if it happens? It happens. Especially, I've seen a death this close. I've seen my brother going away at 34. So then, why should I be fear? Why should there be fear? Life can come anytime. People lose their lives in accidents or whatever. So if any one of us has fear of death, shake it off. Firstly, death will only come when you want it. This thing about kabhi bhi aa jaye, and agar aa bhi jaye, so let's embrace it. Now, what does hypnotherapy do? As hypnotherapists, whenever we do a past life regression for anyone, we always take the person through the death scene in the past life. And the person always experiences death as a big relief. So I don't know how many of you have genuinely seen your past birth. Kitna aap log kar paye? Could you see your death? And when I saw it, it was beautiful. I mean, I had a good feeling. Oh, I had a great life. Oh, it was amazing. And now this is my purpose. So never did I feel, oh, why did I die? Never, because I probably have always died very, very, very old. So now, whenever anyone experiences death 2 or 3 times, they automatically lose all fear of death. So very important for us to understand that. Now, if you look at it from soul's point of view, birth is the most traumatic event and death is the most relieving event. The soul is free originally. At the point of birth, the soul gets imprisoned in the physical body and it stays imprisoned all throughout our life. Only at the point of death, the soul can leave the body and be free again. Hence, for the soul, birth is like going to jail and death is like going out of jail. Which would you prefer? Going to jail or getting out of jail? Why would anyone be afraid of getting out of jail? Why would anyone be afraid of death? If I'm not afraid of death, why should I be afraid of anything else? The moment you let all fears go, the dark force has no hold on you. That means you have cut 1 or 2 ropes keeping your balloon tethered to the ground. And when it really wants to fly high. So today is a Sunday, today is a soulful Sunday. Today we're reading about the soul, just for us to understand that what are we, where are we, and have we deliberately talked about this ever? So the next suggestion is, let your balloon float free. Now, all you have to do is cut the only rope holding your balloon down. What is that rope? Whether you and I realize it or not, greed, as mentioned earlier, greed is holding things for your own self and not freely sharing with others who might be in need. I'm not suggesting that you take a vow of poverty. Depriving yourself of things is definitely not the answer. In fact, some of the churches that make their priests take a vow of poverty are the richest organizations in the world. Now, let us analyze greed. So let us say that Mr. X has a decent lifestyle, a good regular income, maybe $1 million in the bank, good savings enough. Yet, Mr. X is unsatisfied, looks at his friend who has $10 million in the bank, feels comparatively poor, and desires to add $10 million more to his bank account. Now, is Mr. X really poor? In his own mind, he is, because he has a much smaller bank account than his friend has. Suppose Mr. X does not end up with $10 million in the bank. Do you think Mr. X will now start feeling rich and happy? So, abhi uske paas nahi hai, now all of a sudden he has. Will he start feeling happy? Most probably not. Why? Because now Mr. X will compare himself with someone who has $100 million in their bank. And he will feel that he's short $90 million. Mr. X feels even poorer now than he has when he had $10 million in the bank. So where does the cycle end? It never does. Even the richest man wants his money to double. And if it does double, then he wants it to double again. Greed has no money. Greed has no end. Right now, also, you're seeing Jeff Bezos. All the time, there's been like, who's the richest man? And they're making worlds meet ends to do something or the other because greed. No, I'm the richest man in the world. Or showing the other person down because they're not happy with the other person's wealth. So the more a person has, the more he wants. It's a vicious spiral with no end to it. So eliminate greed and fly free. That is a reason why we have been taught in the old Hindu Samaj that 10% of your money, whatever you're earning, must be given for donation and charity. 6, do it in a very, very big way. Because if you're earning, you're also seeing that 10% of this is going to go for empowering lives. So somehow, आपका वो अहम and आपका वो ego भी जा रहा है, which you are giving towards mass building up. And when you do that, the circle of karma is such, or the circle of good values is such that you will get much more money. So how do we eliminate greed and how do we fly free? All we need to do is cut the last tether of greed and let your balloon fly free. We do not need to sacrifice a comfortable lifestyle to let greed go. All we have to do is analyze whether we really need that extra money or property, and if so, how is that going to make your life better? I don't know how many of you have realized in this pandemic that a lot of our stuff, we are just making money for what? I'm not saying we should not think big. We should think big, dream big, and achieve big. But also think about what is the money going to make your life better for. If you think that, adding another bungalow somewhere, or an outhouse, or a farmhouse, or a, beach property, or a terrace, like any mountain property makes you feel good, and you can actually enjoy it, go for it. But if the answer is that mainly it just fulfills your dreams, your desires, and makes you look good compared to others, like Mr. X's extra millions, then it is greed. Let go of the desire and the greed automatically vanishes. And when the greed vanishes, believe me, dear friends, things come to you so much more organically because then you have surrendered. Then you've let go very easily. Of course, on letting go and surrender, we are going to have beautiful books. So by the end of the one-to-one days, you will all be transformed completely in your analysis, in your wishes, in your things, and the way you function. So instead, what should we have? We should have desires for things that you can share with others, and others can also enjoy along with you. Now you're free of the influence of the dark. The moment you let go of the influence of the dark, you automatically start moving up. Let the light help move you up. Now that your balloon has been freed from the tethers, you need to embrace the light to accelerate your upward journey. Light operates on the basis of love and sharing. So I don't know how many of you believe in it or you've just heard of it, that sharing is caring. Suna sabne hoga. But how many of us are actually sharing? And if you're sharing, how many of us are actually doing it for our soul's growth and not showing it to social media, putting on social media or sharing with friends? Oh, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. When you're sharing with an intention of putting it on making yourself feel better, it is exaggerated greed. That means you are doing it for I, me, and I'm that, oh, I do so much. I am learning so much. So please be careful of what you're showing. Are you genuinely sharing? Are you genuinely caring? Or are you just doing it for I, me, and I'm? All that is very, very important for us to understand. Now, what is true love? Here they're saying love. I would say, what is true love? What you truly love someone, you become one with them. The sense of oneness is there. When you're one with the other person, you can't possibly hurt the other person. If you did, you will be still feeling hurt and you'll be hurting yourself. Now, when you really, really love someone, you want to share everything with that person. For example, if you love your spouse or your children, you obviously share everything with them. You don't hold back things for your personal use. You don't let your spouse and children suffer from lack of these. When you have it, you will be easily sharing it. Now, in our modern world, love, caring, and sharing seems to be generally limited to the family. In ancient times, and even today in some groups that we might call primitive, that sharing and caring extends to an entire tribe or the entire village. So I don't know how many of you have read the book Ikigai. Even in that, they have a Moai system where they are creating a corpus of and helping out each other to empower each other beyond yourself, beyond your family, beyond your circle of love. So very important for us to understand that are we doing that bit for the society or for people who are underprivileged? That means our modern civilization Earth has gone farther and farther into separation. That means we have been influenced more by the dark forces than we have seen by the light forces. We need to become more like the ancient civilizations that cared for the whole tribe or the whole village. And then we need to move beyond that, extending that love and care to all of mankind. Most people confuse liking and love. Why is it that a couple very much in love with each other gradually starts hating each other? Anyone has an answer? The answer is written down below though. Because their love is conditional. Now, what is conditional love? Almost all of us are practicing conditional love at all the times. Without consciously realizing it, my thinking is, I am perfect. Yet when I look at you, I see that you behave or do things differently from me. I do not like that part. I want you to change. I want you to behave the way I behave. If you do this, you will be perfect too. If you become perfect like me, then I will love you. Dress up like this. We eat this, change this, do that, get this, do that. Because I like it. So it's all I. Now that is where the problem is. I am perfect, so I want to make you perfect. चाहे हम बोले चाहे नहीं बोले, अगर हम किसी को बोल रहे हैं, you change and you'll become better, इसका मतलब you are practicing that and you think that is definitely better. Now the problem is, you think you're already perfect. चाहे आप सोचें, अभी चाहे आपको समझ में आ रहा हो, कह रहे मैं तो नहीं सोचता, but yes, this is a fact. If you're telling your spouse, your children to change and do something, that means you're doing it and you think that you're perfect. Unless and until it's like you're saying, let's all do it because it's amazing. Then you're looking at a societal change or a family change. But why would I change? Suppose Pratima ji is my mother, for example, and she says, do this because this is amazing. But why would I, Prachi, want to change? In my view, I'm already perfect. So if I change, I'll become imperfect. You think, Mama, that this is great for you. It's not for me. She thinks it's great for her, so I should be doing it because she thinks she's perfect. I think I'm perfect. Ultimately, all of us are in this illusion that we are living a perfect world, whether we realize or whether we don't. We're constantly asking and expecting people to change and become like us. And we are, in fact, telling them that if they change, they will love them a bit more. That is conditional love. From aisa karoge, so it's amazing. Do you ever see children, they're trying to please their parents? Papa, मैंने ऐसा किया, मैं good boy हूं ना? They ask for validation. Why? Because ultimately, all of us are projecting ourselves in that world. Now that is conditional love. Why can't the son say, मैं जो भी करूंगा, I know my dad will love me? Very few of them will say that. Same for daughters and mothers and daughters and fathers or whoever, or spouses. Now, what is unconditional love? Since all of us are thinking that we are perfect, none of us want to change. The moment we realize that each person is unique and different from us, we start fully accepting them as they are, then there is no problem. That means total acceptance without requiring any change whatsoever. जो है बहुत अच्छा है. I love you the way you are. I accept you as you're perfect. That is unconditional love. As soon as you stop expecting others to change and start accepting the persons that they are, you're truly loving everyone unconditionally. Now your balloon moves up very fast. Soon you ascend to the fourth dimension. So if all of us can change our mindset from expectation to acceptance, we would have transcended already. I did talk about this in a meditation a couple of days ago. Expectation is a killer. हम अपने आप से भी बहुत expect करते हैं. And that is the problem. मैं ये नहीं बोलती accept करना बंद कर देना चाहिए, but realistic रखना चाहिए. And बहुत उसको tightly hold नहीं करना चाहिए. That's why we talk about surrender. There will be coming a time in life where रोजमर्रा में आप surrender शुरू कर देंगे. रोजमर्रा में gratitude शुरू कर देंगे. And that will be the true shift in your energy. Because that's how we're supposed to be. It's not difficult at all, Meenakshi. It's about just training ourselves. I'm not saying that I have reached that place, but I've become a much better person than what I was. Pehle, the expectation was too much. Now it's become too less. So because it's all in the mind. Why do I have to expect for what? Kitna? Kyun? Why? अपने आप से भी दूसरों से कभी भी तो can I ever be? And the day we start asking ourselves, no, you will find that bliss. Arey, without expectation, if I live a life, how it's amazing, it's blissful because I trust the process of God. कभी कभी लिव करके दिखना चाहिए वो चीज. अब कैसे होगा? Love is equal to light, is equal to DNA activation. Russian researchers have proven that light will activate DNA. Unconditional love provides a light. जब आपका एकदम unconditional love है ना, that everything is one, everything is बहुत बढ़िया, तो एकदम से you'll be very light in your energy, and you'll be able to see things very clearly, which means you're living in the light. सब कुछ transparent है, crystal clear है, and you're feeling good in your energy, and that is when our DNA is activated. So again, Bhavika, thank you for this question. Don't go in that race, na. You be happy where you are. Let people expect. You still give them unconditional love. जैसे भी तुम हो perfect हो, तुम उसे expect कर रहे हो, तुम उसमें भी perfect हो. When you start owning everything that okay, even that is perfect, then the expectation automatically will become less. Because अब आप उसको accept कर रहे हो कि वो मुझसे expect कर रहा है, and I'm okay with that. आपने accept कर लिया, अपने आप expectation कम हो जाएगी. कभी try तो करके देखो. It's amazing. Now, your unconditional love will provide the light and activate your DNA. We just talked about it. अब DNA activation कैसे होगा? Now, DNA activate जब होगा, जब आप love देखोगे, light feel करोगे, you will in turn lead to a higher consciousness. What is higher consciousness? Higher awareness of your life, conscious living. That, okay, this is how it is. This is how I'm living. And that is when Jojo isme kar rahe hain, they have already gone to the next dimension. Because they live in a world of love and light, so there's not much expectation from the others and even from themselves. They have dreams, they have ambitions, they're working on it, but it's not like a crazy attachment. Ki, ye nahi hua, to the world will collapse. No, it's all right. Fortunately, we have a lot of help in making this transition. Turn to the next chapter to see how this help is being provided. The good news is, हम सबकी life में light activation already हो रही है. We have been given people and situations where we are already being helped in this journey. And tomorrow's chapter is very fascinating. It's going to be on a magical Monday. It's about, just show us the chapter. So the chapter's name is Many Masters, Many Helpers. So we've always had people, high ascended masters, gurus, teachers, but we also have a lot of helpers who are helping us make this shift in our energy. I'm always conflicted between having higher standards and lowering expectations. So that's great. If you have the conflict in your mind, it's absolutely okay. You have higher standards for yourself or for others. Now that's something to be thought of. And you are very comfortable in accepting that you have those standards, but those standards that you have, you're okay to surrender. Nahi bhi hua, so it's okay. Which means lower expectations, that it's okay for it not to come true. Now, this is, if you're saying it's a conflict, I would say it's not a conflict. They're both going parallel. You have higher standards, but you're okay for them not to come true. So that means lower expectation. And that, I say, Kunal is really being on the right path right now. In this absolute initial journey of ours, If we're already feeling that, okay, we have high standards, but we're okay with low results, low turnouts, it's fine. Then that means we're automatically in the acceptance mode. Then it's no longer conflict mode. Think about it. Think about your sentence that you wrote. And we can talk about this also after the session is over. Good to talk about it. So we all are governed by the divine right order. We are always in the right place, at the right time, with the right people, with the right atmosphere, and absolutely correct wherever we are. So a rose is always beautiful, always perfect, and ever changing. This is the way we are. We are always perfect wherever we are in life. So it'll become a bud or it'll become a full blossom flower. It'll lose its petals. It'll become small, shrink again, it'll grow. This is the way of life. We will get plus, we will get minus, and that's how we have to balance. Even a heartbeat is up, down, up, down. It's never straight. Straight means it's end of life. So when we start trusting the process of life, that okay, aaj mujhe ye problem aayi hai, even this is meant to be. So, very beautiful of Ruchi yesterday to write an email to me that, I feel your energy is, you're very concerned because of your child, I think. So, you're doing so much, blah, blah, blah. Very sweet mail. So again, I'm telling everyone that, yes, I am going through a little phase of ups and downs, but I know I'm meant to go with this journey of my child. I'm meant to be bonding with her every 1 hour, seeing her on the video. It's a very new culture for me. I mean, I brought up my children very independently. All of a sudden, she and me have become dependent. And I think it's beautiful because we're meant to grow together like this. So if I start judging, oh, why didn't she get through this place? She got through this and stuff for her. I'm not counting my blessings. So right now, what am I counting my blessings? That okay, because Muskan has lack of friends there and lack of new friends there, she has me to fall back on. How wonderful. So, when the going gets tough, we have to embrace it, surrender it completely. So that's why today's affirmations probably is also for me, just the way it is for each one of us. I am in the right place. So who will want to read it? Ruchi Agarwal, would you want to read? Yes, please. Yeah.
I'm in the right place. Just as all the stars and planets are in their perfect orbit and in divine right order, so am I. The heavens are in perfect alignment, and so am I. I may not understand everything that is going on with my limited human mind. However, I know that on the cosmic level, I must be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Positive thoughts are what I choose to think. This present experience is a stepping stone to new awareness and to greater glory.
Thank you so much. That was beautifully read. So, of course, I am going to make you guys meditate today a little about the soul journey and about where we are in the cosmic universe right now. But I also want to open doors for some discussion when we finish this chapter about how you perceive life right now. So we talk about that. Again, I'm not going to put on music because I really want us to get centered, deep and aligned. And I'm not even going to say that we inhale in with love and light. No, I just want us to focus on our breath work, our breathing in and our breathing out and the way we are comfortable. So I'm going to guide you, but you take the number of breaths that you want. Just enjoy breathing. That's it. Let's be centered, balanced, aligned. Let's check our postures. And now let's start breathing in with a lot of consciousness and awareness. Let's inhale. Gently exhale. Let's observe the little gaps that come before inhaling and exhaling when it's continuous, especially between the second and third breath. Let's inhale and exhale. Observe the gap. Again, inhale. Let's be grateful to our chest, to our lungs, to our diaphragm, to our stomach for taking the deep breath in so that our stomach expands like a balloon. And as it deflates, it's going inside, which means there is life in us. This beautiful oxygen that we're inhaling is imperative for our growth, regenerating all our trillions of cells. The more deeper we inhale, the more oxygen will come into our cells and the more energized they'd feel. So let's tell ourselves that we will consciously breathe a bit more today with a lot of gratitude in our heart, especially on this day, which is a day for a pause, a day of the sun, where the sun shines bright on us. And we are right now savoring every moment of its glory by thanking the beautiful air. In a closed room or out in the open, we are being grateful for our life, for the fresh breath air. We all know that life is absolutely magical. Life is a process, and life is a celebration. So let's come together to celebrate us of who we are today. A person more evolved than who we were yesterday. A person in progress, a person who's a learner, a seeker, a doer, a celebrator. We celebrate our little gains. They could be emotionally a gain, it could be an intellectual gain, physical, spiritual, anything. We simply celebrate our new success and our new glory. Each one of us realizes that this body is actually not my body. It's a body which the soul has chosen to further its purpose. Now, can I detach myself from ownership of this body? Can I be grateful to it for whatever it does without thinking it's mine? Can I say it's okay to not be okay? Can I not be so attached to how physically I look? Just for a moment. Can I feel that weight on my backpack completely getting out if I don't have this ownership of this body? Do I feel lighter in my spirit? Do I feel like I'm soaring high? Isn't that how the soul feels when it drops its body? When the body stops breathing? So much of weight, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 kilos off the soul. So much of weight, so much of baggage, just discarded. Can I try to practice surrender every day consciously for maybe a minute? When I tell my body that it's not my body, but I'm so grateful to you that without you, I would not have an identity. I, the soul, have a name in this birth life because of you, the body. Can I tell the body that I know you're intelligent and I know whatever you feel, however you look, you are ready to do it on your own. This body has a mind of its own, the conscious mind. It has a heartbeat, of course, subconscious is running it, the pulse subconscious is running it. But yet, can I let this body be? Can I try and listen to this body? The aches, the pains, the desires, the hunger pangs, the cravings. Can I give it what it needs? For once, can it not be about I, mine, mine? Can I escalate myself into that world where I accept this body the way it is? I keep telling myself that what I'm doing is great. That is all wonderful. But do I ever tell this body that what you're doing is great, that you are wonderful, without judging how the hair are, how the face is, how the height is, how the weight is, how the color is, how the country is, how the complexion is, whatever, whatever, whatever. Can I drop these divisions? Can I try and find the oneness with my body? I, the soul, have acquired you, the body, in this life for furthering my purpose. My purpose is universal. My purpose is our purpose. Every single soul has one purpose of being unconditional love, of being unconditional, clear, luminous, bright light. When I know that my purpose is light, why am I feeling so heavy with my energy? Can I reflect on it? Can I evaluate it? And can I truly fall in love? Can I be a bit of a more hugger, demonstrative of my physical actions, all elements of love? Can I kiss a bit more? Can I love a bit more? Can I hug a bit more? Can I laugh a bit more? Ultimately, can I live a bit more? Why the greed? Why the stress? Why the tension? Why the difference of feeling? You are you, I'm me, I'm better, what I'm doing is better, do what I'm doing. Why should I become a preacher? Why should I always become a teacher? Why can't I let myself be and let the others be? Why can't I accept myself the way I am? I, the soul, you, the body, you, the mind. For once, why can't I just let go? For once, why can't I just accept everyone the way they are and yet have a feeling of oneness? I could be related to them, I could not be related to them. But ultimately, today I realize that I am related to each one because our souls have a common spirit, the spirit of love, the spirit of life, light. When everyone's finding spirit of love and light, then how are we different? Can I start analyzing my thoughts? Can I assure myself that the cosmic timing is governing me? That the divine right order is at its best? That I, the soul, have chosen this morning session for figuring out my life, a life of abundance, where I transform my energy and myself into higher conscious living, where I operate from helping others, empowering others, and not for the name and fame of this body, this person, just because it feels good to give. Anonymous. Can I become the anonymous giver? Can I be the channel of true love? Can I be the channel of bright light? Can I be the channel of blessings for one and all? Because we are one. Now let's bow our heads in gratitude to everything, wherever, whenever, wherever. Heavens, earth, life, body, whoever you choose. Concentrated gratitude. Can I also thank my soul for the guidance? Can I also thank my body for understanding, reflecting, analyzing? Can I thank the union in me of mind, body, and soul to come together for my ascension, for my transformation. Then I now open my hands to the universe and thank it for this infinite flow of blessings on this beautiful, soulful Sunday. Can I request the universe to make me more aware of my past life so that I am ready to enter the world with open eyes, understand my soul journey. Dear Masters, dear Gurus, thank you for making each one of us channels of love and light. We are all finding ourselves, and yes, we are entering the world, and so it is. Can we all expand our hands and bless and feel blessed? Our palms are facing heavenwards, and let's feel the blessings as we affirm that I am unconditional love. I am bright light. I am infinite blessing. I am me. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the universe. And the energy that flows in me is one and common. And so it is. Let's fold our hands in gratitude. Rub them together. Bless our face, our neck, arms, back, up to down, soles, upper part of our feet, and a full body from down to up. Can we rest our hands on our heart, feel it beat? And this beautiful heart of ours, where there's unconditional love growing, little by little, bit by bit, can I, the totality of mind, body, and soul, bless the other souls, the other bodies, and the other minds to cultivate, to inculcate, and be the best version of themselves. And let my wishes be for all beings, sentient beings or unsentient beings, for their life further on. Let the cosmos be the energy channel where everyone heals. Loads of blessings from the highest in me to the highest in you. Ruchi, Nikita, Pratimaji, Richa, Meenakshi, Priyanka, Kunal, Ushaji, Manisha, Jitendraji, Neha, Shalu, Anita, Bhavika, Surendraji, Vijayji, Pinaji, Sonakshi, Arvind, Supriya, Ruchi, Niriksha, Neha. Thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, everyone. Anybody has any sharings or any questions? We are there for each other. The idea is to share, discuss, and grow. Of course, you can come at 8 o'clock also if you wish, or even now you can use the platform. On this beautiful Sunday, I just want us to work on our goals. That's one human form. So our mind will be in alignment. Our body will be in alignment with our goals. And I also want us to work on our soul, realizing that there is a journey attached. So of course, if we are very new to the soul journey, we are not ready for PLR, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. But can we be ready for our journey where we evolve as people and we find that we have a soul family? Can we start identifying that at least? Because ultimately, all of us are growing into somebody who's better version of ourselves. It's a continuous process of our soul. Only the body and the names and the countries change. So let's just experience that magic as well, especially today when we have a little time. Let's grow abundantly. Let's not waste these beautiful Sundays. Some time for ourselves, especially the morning 2-3 hours. I mean, the family doesn't wake up before a particular time. So let's start investing this morning in ourselves. Thank you. So I believe there are no questions, and that is amazing. So great. There's a reason why I'm doing music-less meditation, because initial 1 month we needed something to subsidize, make us flow in something. Now we have kind of got in the picture, we know it's meditation. So in any ways we get aligned. Is anyone finding the music missing? Because now the music of silence is helping us, I think. Because now we've kind of centered, balance, aligned to this pattern that we will meditate at 6 every morning. So maybe that's why. All right. So thank you for making my morning so magical. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 5. And for some of you, I'll see you at 8. Lots of love, lots of light. Take care. Have a soulful Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rahul sir, once again.